Hi, everyone. It is Maria Andros, and I am here to do a very special interview with a special guest on a topic that I absolutely love. I'm here with the beautiful and talented Donna Levy, who is essentially she's a brain health expert, a leading brain health expert for entrepreneurs, and she specializes in helping entrepreneurs to have more focus, to get out of that overwhelm, to get more done, and to really enjoy their life in the process because I know that, building a business is growing a business can be very overwhelming. She has been a registered nurse as well for 36 years, and for over 30 years has spent time in care of the brain in the fields of psychiatry and dementia care. She, as an expert in brain health, she's literally helped over 30,000 clients to learn how to take care of their brain, so they can live with better memory, that focus that we all want, and really enjoyment that we all desire. So Donna, thank you so much for being here. How are you?
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me. I am fabulous.
I love this topic. I love the brain. I've done a lot of research myself on that. This is really scientific. This is not just woo-woo. It's a very scientific approach to really changing our brain to be able to live a better life. So can you share with me, like, why the brain? Like, how did you even get started with this?
Well, I think, it's totally my background. I do have a medical background, a nursing background, a pastoral care and counseling background, and a psychiatric background. So all of that put together, I realized that the brain is one of the most important organs in your body, if not the most important. We only have one brain, and our brain is who we are. It carries our memories, it carries our personality. And when you think about it, you can get a heart transplant, you can get a lung transplant, you can live without arms and legs. You cannot live without your brain. So it's just near and dear to my heart that I don't think there's enough emphasis on the health of the brain in our society.
I don't think there is. And that's why I love that you're bringing this to the forefront and what you're doing with your private clients. Because, like I said, our thoughts, the way that we're thinking, can you talk a little bit more about the science behind it? They've done MRIs where, for example, someone could, like with athletes, they have them visualize before a game, and they're, showing, they could hook someone up to an MRI and it can show these parts of the brain that are lighting up. And the same person, a different person could look to see what the athlete is doing, and the same parts of the MRI will show up on that part of the brain. How fascinating is that for someone who is an entrepreneur, who's busy, who's got a big life, but that has a problem focusing, maybe is losing some of their memory, but is maybe ashamed to admit it. How does that all translate? I'm, again, so interested in this topic.
Well, we know we live 95% of our life and our life decisions from our subconscious mind. And that is everything that's been loaded into our memory bank, just like a computer, from the time we were born. And so you can reprogram your brain. You can refocus and push through our limitations. It takes a little bit of time. It takes daily practice. It's a lifestyle. Take daily practice to move through, and in 21 days it becomes a habit, and in 66 it becomes a lifestyle. So people can totally restructure your brain to be more effective and to be happier and live happier.
Absolutely. So what do you notice, like when someone comes into you, like your private clients, where are they starting from? Like, why do they even, like, what is their kind of common complaint?
I get focus and brain fog. Those are the two largest complaints right at the beginning. And, I go to the diet right away, diet and hydration.
Okay.
Because we have emotional connection with our diet, with foods. So it's it's very easy to take that sugar, to get that sugar fix. Like you're having a stressful day, and what did your parents do? They gave you, oh, have a little candy, and you'll feel better,
Yes.
right? But it doesn't always make us focus better. So we have to work through those issues to get our brain to function at its top level.
What are some of the changes that you see? Like once someone has gone through your process, how are they showing up differently in their lives? Like what have you kind of noticed? What kind of lights you up about that?
People have much more energy.
Okay.
They sleep better, deeper. They dream, which that's our creative process. And, you know, sleep is one of the most important things. People say, oh, I can go without sleep. You know, I only need 4 hours. And it's scientifically proven that you need 7 to 9 hours of sleep. And what happens when we sleep is our brain releases some cerebral spinal fluid that actually cleans out our neuronal pathways so that we can think clearer, sharper, and faster.
I love the term. You taught me neuronal. Can you please share with our viewers what that actually means? Because I know this is it could be sometimes, but this is the accelerated path for someone who has been struggling with focus. I've struggled with, you know, that focus and brain fog. I think anyone with ADD, ADHD, the clients that you serve, but talk to us, what does neuronal mean?
Okay, it means it's your neurons. You have neurons throughout actually your whole body, but mostly in your brain, and they need to connect to each other. Okay, so there's a space in between, and the pathways, the neurotransmitters go back and forth, like in between my fingertips. So you want to clear out those pathways so that your neurons can connect to each other and you can have better thoughts.
That's awesome. So how important are thoughts when it comes to someone who's watching? Like, talk to us about turning our thoughts around, and how important are the thoughts?
Oh, our thoughts, we have so many thoughts a day, so many subconscious thoughts that, and you know, and those are what they call ants. They're automatic negative thoughts, okay, that happen all day long, and they're from our subconscious. It's like you have an idea, a really great idea for work while you're getting dressed. And within, I'd say, 30 seconds, you're like, that's a stupid idea. I'm not going to present that idea. That's not going to work. And you move on.
Wow.
You know?
So you talk yourself basically out of it. And then your state starts to change into maybe like not feeling as good. So let's look at the tangible, because I'm all about tangible. I know you have tangible tips. Like, what is something we could do when it comes to turning around those automatic thoughts? If someone wants to grow their business, or they want to just be more focused in their life and with their family, even outside of even work, like how do we turn around some of the automatic negative thoughts?
Mm-hmm. Well, a long time ago, I learned this in actually sociology and behavior modification, is when you're thinking a negative thought, picture a big red stop sign. Okay. Just stop. You stop giving it energy. So then you stop giving it life. And then think about something else. Think about what would happen if you actually, you know, went through those negative thoughts into something positive. You know, you could be that much more successful, that much more brilliant at your next meeting. Yeah. You know, that much more loving with your children. Yeah. So,
I think that's really it. Like, we all want to be better. I think that for a lot of our audience, for example, your audience, like, we all want to grow. We all want to be at our best. We want to be performing at our best. We want to be balanced in every area. So that's what I'm really hearing. Let's talk about the brain fog. I think that's a big one.
So brain fog can come from several different areas. One can be really easy tip. You can hydrate yourself. Because then that means water, not other things. And actually, coffee dehydrates you. So don't grab the coffee. If you're having brain fog in the afternoon, especially, a lot of people have that after lunch, you know, drop. Get a big glass of water and chug it down, you know, see if you don't feel better. The other thing is diet. You know, we have like corn syrup in some of our foods. I'd suggest people start reading their labels so that you're not ingesting things you can't even say that actually causes inflammation in your body. And your brain is part of that system, you know?
Donna, talk to me about how, like, talk to me about the hydration, because I think that is a big problem for, it's like, I think the society, it's like soda. I used to drink soda as well. I had to cut it out.
Me too,
But
Tab.
I'm curious about your morning routine. Like, maybe, do you have a morning routine?
Yes.
You get up and drink a glass of water. Like, what's the best thing we can do? Like, what's a good routine? What do you do?
Right. I get up. I get my coffee, actually, I have to say.
Okay.
Yeah, I get my coffee and I go into my little chair. I have this little area and I listen to my meditation.
Okay.
I do meditation tapes and positive reinforcement tapes to start my day. Okay.
Is it better to do that in the morning opposed to the evening, or is there any studies around that? 'Cause I'm curious, what would you recommend for that?
I would recommend, if it's possible, in the morning, because then it sets your day in a positive, grateful mode. And when we're grateful, our brain waves function at a gratitude level. So you're in a receiving and blessing mode all day long.
I love that. My chiropractor actually talks a lot about gratitude. I do a lot of gratitude. What are the studies around that? Like, why is it so powerful just to even do that? Like, a lot of people might think, oh, such a simple thing, but it's actually proven. Like, can you talk to me about the research around that?
Well, it takes you from a negative standpoint. Well, oh, life is awful. I have to go to this job. I have this meeting. Da, 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 da. Instead, it changes you into, thank God I have this job. Thank God I can provide for my family. Thank God that I can think and I can get up in the morning.
That is so beautiful. So getting out of the overwhelm, like, I think that I had to train myself to get out of overwhelm with
Yes.
what you're teaching. Like, I literally do this stuff, and I think you know much more about it than I do. That's why I'm taking notes. But is that really how we get out of, if someone's experiencing that overwhelm, is that how we shift the state in 21 days and even sooner? Is that what you're maybe mentioning?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Most of it is in your mind, you know?
Yes.
Like I said, I'm doing this series on the holiday rush. Chaos is a choice.
Yes. It is. It is a choice. And it's like we've got to almost unplug from the stress of society. Like, there's so much growth happening with technology, with social media. It's a good thing. But a lot of people might get on social media and feel worse about themselves, when really, like, staying in our own lanes and focusing and practicing what you're sharing are the keys to actually having more of a balanced, thriving life. Like, I love how simple this is. So morning meditation, getting up, more hydration, sleep. I definitely agree with that. 7 to 9 hours. What are an automatic thoughts, like changing into a state of gratitude? Are there any tangible things that you take your clients through, or anything that you could share with our viewers?
I might call people on their thought pattern.
Okay.
You know, if they're like, oh, I can't do this diet. Okay, so why do you think you can't do this diet? Well, because it's the holidays. Okay, so what does the holidays signify for you? Oh, being together with my family and love. Okay, so we're concentrating on love, and so they associate the food and the sweets and grandma's pie with love. But so if, yes, if your grandmother made you a pie, I say take a bite of the pie, you know, just to show love. But you don't have to eat the whole pie, you know. Just do the 80-20 and be okay with that. Sometimes we're our own worst enemies, you know.
Wow. So that's like with the sugar, it's like it's okay to have some. You're not taking it all away, but it's really looking at the brain health. What do you see? Is there a certain age that this starts to, does the memory start to deteriorate? Like, what happens? What causes the memory, the focus to start to slow down? What is maybe some, I'd love to know more about that.
Well, as we age, our hormones decrease, and it becomes out of balance.
Okay.
And even people in their 30s who have stressful lives, they have young children, they have jobs, they're not taking care of themselves well. Brain fog and brain deterioration can start as early as late 30s.
Wow. Okay.
But really, after menopause, 50s, for both men and women, we start to decrease our muscle mass, we decrease our balance. That's when people fall and break their hip. So, you can keep your brain healthy and keep your body healthy with just a few changes in your lifestyle,
How important is exercise when it comes to brain health?
It is, because you have endorphins that end up your dopamine, your serotonin levels. People don't realize your serotonin levels are made in your gut. So you have to have gut health. You have to make sure you're not inflamed intestinally in order to produce those, so that they go to your brain and you have that feel good mentality. And science has proven that people after vigorous activity, and it doesn't have to be long, you could walk really briskly for about a half an hour, up to 2 hours, their focus has increased.
Wow. So do you recommend doing that? Like, some people work out in the morning, some people work out at night. Is it more in the morning again to get the day going, or does it matter?
I don't think it really matters, as long as, because it's not like a lose weight thing. It's more of getting your serotonin levels up in your brain.
And how long does it take to start seeing that if someone hasn't, like, I know a lot of entrepreneurs that are so busy, they're working all the time and they're neglecting working out. I personally don't like going to the gym. So if for someone who, again, you said walking, but how long does it take to turn this around, to start seeing more dopamine and the serotonin, like you said, to increase our focus?
It's like almost right away. You start feeling great right away. I would say within 2 to 3 weeks, you would really start, your body starts getting better into motion and everything. And it starts becoming a routine. 3 weeks gives it a routine, 21 days. So
what could someone do if they are, this is like, we're going deeper than you might have expected. I just love this topic so much. And I know that you're the subject expert on it. So if someone hasn't made the time for it, what would they tell their brain if there is automatic negative thoughts tied to that, so that they could turn it around, basically? Like, it's easier said than done, right?
Sometimes you have to trick yourself.
Okay.
And say, okay, I'm really not going to eat dinner until I walk for 30 minutes. You kind of have to set it up in your routine. You can always, what's really great is having workout partners, somebody that you walk with, so you can, egg each other on. Or you could even say, okay, I'm going to take a half an hour to listen to my meditations and go for a walk while you're listening.
Right. So to get that programming in, and to get our endorphins going and the dopamine, that's a fantastic idea. I love it. You mentioned something that I'm curious about. You mentioned that it's the brain health is associated to the gut. And I've heard a lot about that. Do you do like the bone broth? That's a really hot topic right now. Is it important for us to heal the gut? Do you focus on that with your clients, or what does that look like?
Yeah, I really focus on inflammation.
Okay.
And if people have issues with their intestinal tract, yes, definitely. Because I used to think, why is he asking about the gut? That didn't make sense to me. But really, like, a lot of our hormones and our neurotransmitters are made in our gut and travels to the brain, either through our electrical system, our neurons, or through the bloodstream. So That's why it is so important. It's so important to have the right bacteria in your intestine. You could try probiotic or anything like that that makes you regular too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and gets rid of the impurities.
So bone broth, just focusing on our gut health is going to improve our memory and focus
Yes.
and our neuro, how did you,
Pathways. You could
yeah,
say neuro pathways.
neuro, yes, I love this. And so then everything kind of, it's like most people don't start here though. They would start with maybe, oh, I'm just going to do this and this, but this is really the pathway to have that balance. I didn't realize how much it was tied to the hormones as well, which
Yeah.
obviously shifts with our aging. So if we get that in check, do you do a lot of work around the hormones, or what does that look like?
Yes. Okay. So the hormone situation. When you think about hormones, what do we think about? Estrogen, progesterone, testosterone.
Yes.
But what about insulin? That helps your blood sugar. That's a hormone. What about your thyroid? That helps your metabolism. Then we have dopamine and serotonin levels that that act as hormones through our bloodstream. And see, when one starts being out of whack, and that's what happens as we age, we don't produce enough, then we start getting high blood sugar. We get, cardiac problems from that. We gain the weight around the middle, which doesn't help. So we get our diabetes, our age-related diseases because our hormones are out of whack.
But it's reversible. I've talked to doctors that diabetes can be reversed, whether it's,
totally.
It's through diet mostly.
Yes.
So I love this hormone topic, but do you have, like, I know there's so many supplements out there. Is there maybe one tangible something someone could try, or that's kind of safe, or a food, like what would you recommend that would be helpful for the brain health?
It depends upon the client. I really work closely with the client before I suggest anything. But, I've been on the Somaderm HGH gel for 9 months now. And I can only say there's 3 brain health supplements in there, and they're all natural. They're all plant-based. So, and a lot of my clients have said, oh my God, I feel great. And the feeling great initially is like a blanket was lifted off of their brain because of their serotonin levels, and that they can focus, and it decreases inflammation at the same time. So
that's awesome. Well, do you want to leave leave our viewers with like one last word of encouragement, or just something that you want to share, just to kind of tie a bow around this amazing topic? And thank you, Donna, for today.
You're welcome. This sounds overwhelming to people. And so I usually take people in small steps. And anybody can do this. You can have a healthier brain today than yesterday, and a healthier brain even tomorrow than today. But we just have to take action and go little steps, 80-20, and just read your labels at first. And that's it.
I love how simple you make it. You're so elegant about this. And again, I really appreciate, I asked you some really, deep questions. I really want to know, and I'm sure that our viewers really appreciated it. So thank you. If someone wants to connect with you, where can they find you, Donna?
Okay, they can either go to my intentional coaching page on Facebook. They can private message me there. And, I respond pretty fast. So just leave me a little.
Donna Levy, Intentional Coaching?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Donna, for being here. I really appreciate you. I had so much fun learning. I took like a ton of notes. I'm so excited to implement some of these very simple but powerful techniques. So thank you for being here. Thank you everyone for watching. And I really look forward to watching this space on the brain, because I think it's one of the most important things that we can focus on, especially because none of us are getting any younger, but we can be healthier. So thank you so much, Donna. And thank you everyone for watching. Bye for now. Thank you.
Bye.